Japan's longest-serving Prime Minister Shinzo Abe has died hours after being shot in broad daylight. President Bongbong Marcos will be skipping events this week after testing positive in a COVID antigen test. And agriculture groups are appealing to President Marcos to declare a state of food emergency, with the prices of basic food items on the rise. Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's a roundup of stories we're watching now. I'm Sean Yao. Transportation Secretary Jimmy Bautista has designated Port Manager Manuel Boholano as officer in charge of the Philippine Ports Authority. Boholano will be serving as OIC until July 31 or until a permanent general manager has been appointed. Boholano has been with the PPA since 1988. Businessman Christopher Pastrana was initially nominated for the position. However, his nomination has been questioned due to a conflict of interest. Pastrana is the president of Archipelago Philippines Ferries Corporation, the operator of FastCat, as well as ports and terminals. Some experts are attributing the weak peso to the interest rate gap between the Philippines and the United States. Gerard de la Peña with the report.
The peso closed at 56 pesos and 6 centavos to a dollar on Thursday, its weakest in almost 17 years. On Friday, the peso sank to 56 pesos and 13 centavos before closing at 55.92. It is now close to reaching the all-time low of 56 pesos and 45 centavos recorded in 2004. An economist said that more dollars are flowing out of the country in the middle of import season.
That has been the pattern for the past 20 to 30 years. Nag-aangkat yung ating mga importer, yung ating mga local manufacturers for export market.
But experts put the blame on the interest rate gap between the Philippines and the US. The US Federal Reserve has so far raised its interest rates by more than 1 percentage point, whereas the Philippine Monetary Board has only done so by a 1/4 percentage point. With this, investors tend to favor the US as their money will have greater yields. Amal's husband is a seafarer whose remittance increased by about 5,000 pesos when converted. But she said this is still not enough.
Ganun pa rin. Kasi mahal yung bilihin eh. Kahit sabihin tama na tumaas ang dollar, mahal pa rin yung bilihin.
Central Bank Governor Felipe Medalla said prices of consumer goods will continue to go up faster if the peso depreciation will not be curbed, given that the country imports a lot of food items and oil. That's why he said the Monetary Board is ready to increase key interest rates by 50 basis points next month. Some experts believe that dollar supply in the country will somewhat stabilize in the fourth quarter as the import season ends and remittance money comes in. But the problems of volatile foreign exchange and high consumer prices are not expected to end soon as the war between Russia and Ukraine rages on. For News 5, Gerard de la Peña, we are One News.
In other news, some agriculture groups are urging President Marcos to declare a state of emergency because of the impending food crisis. The Philippine Chamber of Agriculture and Food said an emergency status would mandate local governments to allocate funds to increase the production of basic agricultural products. According to the agricultural group, asking the national government for a supplemental budget will take time since the budget for this year has already been set. We'll be back with more stories after this quick break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. An honesty store in Rosario, Cavite is thriving with the support of sincere residents. Laila Pangilinan with their story.
We once visited an honesty store up north in Batanes, but now there's another one just like it over in Cavite. WILLIE PERLAS set up his own honesty kiosk which sells various fruits and vegetables. WILLIE has been selling since he was 21. He was forced to sell his tricycle to a junk shop and got 1,500 pesos in return. His neighbors also loaned him some money, which he used to set up a makeshift sari-sari store near his house. One day, after coming back to his store from an errand, he found that some items went missing. But to his surprise, he found payment for the missing items. Who would have thought that the rundown kolong-kolong or a sidecar filled with fruits and veggies would be the start of this honesty store in Rosario, Cavite? There is no one to attend to you here, but please do feel free to get whatever you want and pay honestly. Tips and keep the change. They're also welcome.
Tinatandaan ko yung mga tinda pag anong pwesto, kung nabuwasan o ano, nalalaman kong nagagalaw kung magkano nabibenta. Nililista ko yung mga nabibili, nababawasan.
With this, he is able to earn at least 1,300 pesos daily, good enough to pay off his loans. He's now planning to fix his house. At the moment, he's staying at the barangay gazebo. WILLIE is also positive that with his neighbors' honesty and trust on them, the store will continue its success.
Dahil tiwala naman din ako dahil sa kilala ko naman halos lahat ng mga tao dito at sa labasan. Okay naman po, hindi naman po sila maano. Kasi makisama ka ng ayos, makikisama sa'yo ng ayos. Para yung ang gagawin nilang masama, hindi nila magawa.
As for WILLIE's neighbors, aside from convenience, the store also teaches children a very important lesson.
Maraming mga bata ngayon na medyo may pagkaano ang mga kamay, mas maigi yung natuturuan namin yung mga bata na gano'n na maging tapat sila sa tao.
For News 5, Laila Pangilinan, we are One News.
And here's a quick look at today's other top stories. The Court of Appeals has affirmed Rappler CEO Maria Ressas and former researcher Ray Santos' conviction for cyber libel. Rappler said it is looking at all possible legal remedies, including bringing the case to the Supreme Court. The palace announced that President Bongbong Marcos has tested positive in a COVID-19 antigen test. Press Secretary Trixie Cruz Angeles said the president has a slight fever. Former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe has died just hours after being shot while delivering a speech in Nara City. Abe was 67 years old and was Japan's longest-serving prime minister. Authorities have arrested a 42-year-old man believed to be the gunman in the shooting. For more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. Masks on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. I am Sean Yao. We are One News.